I think the pandemic shocked a lot of us into thinking and realizing that, working for a company isn't our identity as much as our identity is our identity. And we get to work for whom we want, when we want, and for however long we want. And and we get to drive our own income. We get to work for ourselves, and that's growing very rapidly. So we're all building our own castles, which is cool, rather than building somebody else's castle. So.
Welcome to the podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Daniel Acre. He is the founder of GigCX Talent. It is a global revolution on fractional workers. So, Daniel, why don't you tell us a little bit about the company and your role and how it fits into the company?
Yeah, great to join you today, Jarrett. GigCX Talent is a global talent and technology advisory. We focus on GigCX talent resources along with BPO staffing and AI resources. At any one time, we have access to over 500,000 agents working globally, speaking over 72 languages in 23 industries.
Did you say 500,000?
Yes.
That's a lot. Your
Yeah.
network's that big.
Yeah. The revolution really today in the, you know, current status of workforce today is we're moving away from brick and mortar, and that was exacerbated by the pandemic, of course, and the onset of some incredible technology that allows for remote workers to be PCI, SOC 2, and HIPAA compliant. So they can work from wherever, whenever, and for however long is needed without the exposure to being an FTE. So enterprises are pivoting from that FTE ecosystem to a gig model, which is allows for them to be able to leverage on-demand talent, 24/7, 365.
Yeah. So, how does your role fit into the company on a day-to-day basis?
So I founded GigCX Talent 14 months ago, predominantly based on this inertia that's being created in the marketplace to move towards more gig workers as an augment to AI, and as AI is augmenting, human talent. It's not just about butts and seats or how many agents anymore. It's about getting the right people and at the right position to engage with the right customer for the right reasons, with the right training, et cetera. And then leveraging AI to augment that process as well to create both cost and margin efficiencies.
So, what does a typical day-to-day look like for you?
Typical day. We're back to back because of our growth. So we're talking to partners that join our ecosystem and or our network who want to be part of what it is that we're doing. We created an industry standard GVI, which is a GigCX Talent Value Index. We believe it is, um, you know, setting new standards with returning integrity back into the buying process. All of our members go through a Six Sigma-like assessment. And so we validate and verify to confirm all of our suppliers are who they say they are, do what they say they do. So our buyers really, in a sense, don't have to do the vetting once we present to them, suppliers who best fit their needs. So that's a process, but we're also creating mechanisms in place which will allow buyers globally to access this network of what we believe to be best-in-class solutions for all categories of gig CX, BPO, staffing, and AI.
That's interesting. So, your day-to-day is kind of managing those connections with those vendors so that your buyers don't have to go through all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, the days of RFP, QI, and the proverbial dog and pony show with suppliers trying to be everything to everybody to get the sale and generate revenue, that doesn't resonate with a lot of buyers today. What resonates with buyers is trust. And if you can create a platform and a process of integrity buyers will typically gravitate towards that because, again, our GVI process is validating and verifying that the supplier network that we're giving exposure to have gone through this process, and they've been allocated a scoring system, 3, 4, 5 stars, depending on their people, process, and technology, and ancillary acumen.
Nice. And do you share those ratings with those vendors as well, so that if they wanted to, they could improve and, reach more people?
Yeah, 100%. The GVI is highly beneficial for those who participate in it because typically we always find gaps within their service entities of whether it's their people and how they manage those people, how they train those people, how they provide quality assurance to those people, and all sorts in many other categories. And then the process, or do people understand and you know the organization and how they work collaboratively with internally with each other. Um, and then of course the tech stack, which with 57,000 AI providers out there, what does the tech stack look like today? Is it being leveraged, used, developed with their clients and internally? Why did they select the AI that they have? Do they have too many? Not enough? And so we help them understand where those gaps might exist and where solutions might be better fit for them, whether they're a boutique, mid-market, or a large BPO, or even the same with gig and or AI.
Okay. So you mentioned that much of the industry as a whole is shifting towards, not having FTEs and whatnot. As far as your industry, though, of having fractional workers, gig CT talent, what major shifts are you seeing in your industry right now?
Well, this is the shift. We're going from FTE to gig. Gig is was a $455 billion space moving to 1.5 trillion by 2030. So massive growth. And by the way, gig economy in general is, the Lyfts, the Ubers, the DoorDashes of the world. Um, but it's also gaining huge traction within the back office processing or operation process at large contact centers where you have call flex and on-demand needs like open enrollment in healthcare, tax season where maybe you need 5,000 people to work 90 days and then on the 91st day they don't work anymore. Those are highly cost prohibitive for most every BPO. And so it makes sense to leverage it, the gig economy or the GigCX workforce for that. So we get the same or better agent working all the needed hours. And they fully expect not to be in that project on the 91st day. So there's an absence of exposure and liability to the FTE. And so we maximize, again, margin, sales volume, uh, and increase market share as we're able. So.
So I'm curious, are these, gig workers, are they all going to be remote, or are some of them, in person? They expect to, show up to a company? How does that work?
Yeah, it's all remote, working from wherever, we like to say. They can work at home, at a home office. They can work in a co-working space. They can work on a park bench as long as they have a Wi-Fi connection. It is a BYOD model, bring your own device. So there's no need to have logistical nightmares of provisioning, equipment all over the country. And so all of our partners do tech check, make sure that the laptop is locked down. And so when the agent is working, they're working specifically on that project. They're not allowed to surf the internet or be on any other application while they're working. So that's part of the security piece. So when they work, and they tend to be real happy with that because they gain work-life balance. I think the pandemic shocked a lot of us into thinking and realizing that, working for a company isn't our identity as much as our identity is our identity, and we get to work for whom we want, when we want, and for however long we want. And and we get to drive our own income. We get to work for ourselves, um, and that's growing very rapidly. So we're all building our own castles, which is cool, rather than building somebody else's castle. So, well, we
Yeah.
actually we're doing both, right? So as I was saying that, so we're adding huge productivity to the brand. Because a lot of these people, if you want to work for Pepsi, and I've drank Pepsi, I know Pepsi, I know Pepsi really well. I can help people who drink Pepsi if they're calling in to ask questions about our products. So we have what are called brand ambassadors to represent brands, and allows for people to help people who are using, again, this similar brand. But so you're growing that, but you're also kind of building your own castle too, because look, I don't have to jump on a plane, train, or an automobile to get into work anymore. I don't have to look like everybody else. I don't have to have, you know, um, the clothes that everybody's wearing, or I might be a stay-at-home veteran, stay-at-home mom, whatever that is. So we take, underserved communities, rural people who live in rural communities. They get to participate in the economy too, and they get to add to the overall productivity. And so, our primary mission here is to impact the human condition. So, uh, allowing, and giving people an avenue to contribute to the greater good by making, an income and doing what they enjoy and or love doing.
Yeah. So with this going from a $1 billion to a $1 trillion industry, how has that impacted your own business's growth strategy?
Yeah, in a real positive way. Of course, when you're creating a space and you're innovating a space, there's a lot of doubters, a lot of people who are unfamiliar with what you're doing. So there's a lot of education. There's a lot of um, growing up that our industry is going through, because there's trepidation, hesitation. Change is not comfortable. It can be threatening and uncomfortable for stakeholders, because they're going to be asked to do things differently, and they might actually lose, some control over their department or division. That is being experienced already through the onset of AI. So we're going from hundreds and hundreds, or if not thousands of people, to maybe half of that, because now we have agentic, which look, feels, and sounds just like a human being, kind of taking over those day-to-day jobs. And agentic's never late, never gets tired, and works 24/7. Um, so yeah, a lot of good things happening within that space.
Yeah. So what's working well for you in your business right now, and what's been frustrating?
I think the education process and the doubt, because we see it, our whole team sees it. I think a good segment, a minority of the segment of our population sees it. But it was like the internet when it first came out. Everybody was kind of like, what is this? And how does it work? Kind of thing. That's not a real fair comparison, but it was just kind of an analogy of when something is new, there's a lot of hesitation towards it. But what we're also finding is there are a lot of really smart, brilliant people out there who understand, in order to get here, that you need to break it. If it's not broken, break it. Popular book, by the way. So there are a lot of people who are diving feet first and saying something's got to change. Again, to alleviate cost and margin pressures. And there's got to be something than just managing humans and then trying to fit a square peg in a round hole with my AI. So how can I make this work, and how can I make it be elegant and super positive for our organization? So we help companies with that by bringing in, again, best of breed, world-class suppliers who have been there, done that, and yeah, just provide solutions to people who are just trying to figure this all out.
Okay. So as you're thinking about your company and what your, challenges are and everything, what metrics are you most focused on improving in your company?
Metrics. Because we're in growth mode, we are investigating capital. So we're involved in, VC and pitch, and we're in that community right now. So yeah, we're actively looking for healthy investment with partners that make sense, that could augment and help us to continue to accelerate our brand and our purpose and our mission.
Okay. Do they focus on, KPIs or something that matters to them then, usually?
What we're talking about is venture capital
Right.
investment. So no, we're the experts, and they invest in that. So we would obviously want to leverage their capital and maybe connections within their network of DevOps, and again, that could help us with our growth.
Okay. So looking for venture capitalists to, really spike the growth. Where do you want to be the next 6 to 12 months from now? Hopefully with that venture capital, acquired.
Yeah, so I think like any promising company that partners with investors, the zero sum game is you got to be 10x growth. And so we honestly believe, given our revenue channels, that we're easily a 50 to $100 million business. So um, so anybody that's interested in hearing more, give us a call. Yeah.
So does that, if I'm doing my math, the reverse math, does that mean you're around a $5 to $10 million business right now? If you want to 10 exit?
We're privately held, so I can't reveal that, but
Okay.
because I'm smiling, you could probably guess.
Well done. Yes. So you mentioned the goal of the business is to, 10x the growth and find those venture capitalists, make this global movement. If you had a magic wand to fix just one thing in your business holding you back or slowing you down, what would that one thing be?
DevOps, definitely.
DevOps. Can you expound on that?
I can't.
No?
Um, we're stealth in what it is that we're creating. But what we're creating would fall under a DevOps mentality, whereby our tech is able to be accessed by buyers located globally to find a best fit supplier.
Okay. So finding the right DevOps team, and it sounds like you have, ideas in mind of what this platform will be, and a DevOps team is crucial to making that happen. You get that right? All right. Well, this has been very interesting, Daniel. If any enterprises or anyone looking for this kind of talent is out there, how would they best get a hold of you to
Yeah.
discuss it?
Yeah, they can learn more and reach out to us via our website at gigcxtalent.com. I'm glad we don't have to say the word W anymore, because I think we all know. Um, I can be reached on LinkedIn at Daniel Acre or at GigCX Talent. And yeah, I always recommend learning more about who we are, what we do, and what our mission and vision and goal is. And then obviously reach out to us. We'll be happy to have a conversation.
I'm a little embarrassed now. Daniel Acre. It's not Acre. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I got to be honest, it's probably the most mispronounced Norwegian last name that I know. So you are not alone. So don't be embarrassed.
All right, now we got the truth. It's Daniel Acre. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, well, thank you so much, Daniel. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you, Jarrett. I appreciate it.